friends, I'm Kanchan from Akulmach Technologies and you're welcome to our show. And as you know, we have a interesting guest today, Sitesh Shrivastava, who has a deep interest in corporate training, is closely associated with broadcasting and work across all continents. And we'll be discussing about one of the very interesting topic, which is Ayurveda. Now, Ayurveda medical system from India has been used for thousands of years. The goal is to clean the body and to restore the balance of body, mind, and spirit. It uses diet, herbal medicines, exercise, meditation, breathing, physical therapy, and other methods. To know about this and whether Sitesh practice Ayurveda in day-to-day life, let's listen to Sitesh. Welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you, Kanchan. I'm doing really well, and a great Diwali wish to all our listeners and our viewers. And I hope they all have enjoyed their festivities. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm very fine. We have celebrated Diwali, the festival of lights, enjoyable. All these past days was quite good and enjoyable and different from our day-to-day work. You know that.
Yeah, that's what the festivals are for. And that too, in this pandemic times, any festival is a welcome sign, because we are, for some time, for few hours, for a few days, we are moved away from the negative thoughts of this. And therefore, but at the same time, Kanchan, these festivals, our Indian festivals, are full of food, full of laziz food, and amazing foods, and other things. And also the weather changes, especially in the North India. The weather changes. You are in Delhi and you can tell us more about that. And therefore it is important. The winter is setting in the North India, and Himalayas will start freezing the northern parts of the country. And therefore it is important to keep ourselves healthy. And the moment it comes about health in India, and it is about Ayurveda. What do you say?
Yes, definitely. Like Ayurveda is, as we've been discussing before this recording, that Ayurveda is an age-old practice, medicine practice. Now, when you mentioned that Diwali sweets and winter are just setting in, now for Diwali, actually we have to increase our appetite, especially for mithai and for sweets. And yes, winters are just increasing every day. But as you must have heard that Prime Minister inaugurated Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda at Jamnagar in Gujarat and the National Institute of Ayurveda at Jaipur in Rajasthan on November 30. So I think it's a very crucial date because now, as you said, that winters are setting in, and we need to practice this medicine philosophy and medicine practice in our day-to-day life. What are your opinions?
Yes, Kanchan. So Ayurveda has always been part of our Indian system from antiquity, and there is a Ayush ministry in our country, and which we have recognized not only Ayurveda but other homegrown, local, this peninsula-grown medicinal techniques, and this is something which works more in tandem with the nature, the healing parts of the nature, the plants, the herbs, and we have our mythological stories. Hanuman crossing over when Lakshman was wounded. He was asked to bring some Ayurveda herbs, and he couldn't recognize or identify, so he just picked up a mountain, and that image is known and all over the country. And therefore it is very, very important for our current youth, not only our old generation, to understand the importance of Ayurveda and try to practice it, because it is less reactive like an allopathic medicine, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a long process of this medicine because you have to continue. Like allopathy, it gives a relief instantly. And sometimes it is said that it can affect other organs. Maybe you are having treatment of temperature or fever, but it may affect the medicine itself may affect to other organs in the body. Whereas when we talk about Ayurveda, it is a slow process, and it is said from very age, from very long time, especially in India, it's being practiced, and many people still rely on this medical practice, and they take medicine from Ayurveda. And in our day-to-day life for past few years, for a couple of decades, I guess, most of Indians are practicing Ayurveda, and it's becoming popular overseas also. When we talk about that, because now, as we have mentioned, this institute being opened, when inaugurated by Prime Minister, so these institute and education institution are expected to play a global leadership role in the growth and development Ayurveda in 21st century. And I think that's a very, very good news, because many in the people in outside country don't understand the importance of Ayurveda.
That's true, and I think it is very interesting to see the new products coming in the Ayurveda sector. Many companies jumping in, and we have so many different solutions and concoctions and medicines. They are being popularized. You know, in my days, it was Drakshasava or Dashmula Risht, and at maximum a Chyavan Prash. But today, when I go to a shop there are shops on Ayurveda where I can find Ashwagandha, I can find Yashti Madhu, I can find Arjuna, I can find Giloy juice, and so many things. And it is so nice to see that something we are not only developing and popularizing in the youth, in the new generation of people, about the stuff that we already have, and we don't need to really depend on those allopathic medicines which are basically patented in the West, and we have to pay a huge royalty. We can't just use them as they are, and therefore this is something which interests me, and it also enhances and encourages people to live a better active life, and don't worry about the too much of those allopathic medicines or the Western medicines that we have. So within our Ayush ministry, we have yoga, we have naturopathy, we have Unani medicine, we have Ayurveda, and we have something called Siddha Rigpa. It's a Himalayan treatment in the Himalayan region. So this all has been combined under the Ayush ministry, and under those Ayush ministry, these two institutions have been inaugurated for Ayurveda research, and I'm really happy about it. And one another point that I want to bring is that while growing up in the northern India and the various parts of eastern India, I saw that if a doctor does not have an MBBS, he is not really seen in the society as a very, very proper doctor. Okay, he must have done Ayurveda or he must be a homeopathic. But now, with the push that this government is giving, I think they will be at par with our MBBS and MD doctors. And the Ayurveda doctors, the Unani doctors will be proudly putting the doctor, and they will get the same respect. What do you say?
Yes, Satish, because what I feel, though it's my personal feeling, that Ayurveda gives you an opportunity to change your lifestyle, gives you an opportunity, a platform to live a healthy lifestyle. Because if you see in our kitchen also, we use in day-to-day working of our kitchen, we use herb, which is turmeric, and we don't give a certificate that is an Ayurveda herb. So I think people, especially young people, should understand that Ayurveda is a kind of medicine, a line where it stops you to really fall ill. Actually, it increases the immunity. It gives you a lifestyle which is very much in nowadays, and I think we should not give Ayurveda study as a second rated study, but I think it should be placed at par or maybe before allopathy, because allopathy for lifelong, our parents and me, I've been telling everybody that it somehow gives more ailments rather than uh, living a healthy life, isn't it, Suresh?
Eh, yeah, Kanchan, and to tell our viewers that uh, we should not think that Ayurveda is only about Indian traditional medicine. It has been recognized by World Health Organization, and when I have seen outside India, I have seen in Japan, I have seen in South Africa, that every country, every geographical region has its own traditional medicine. In India, we call it Ayurveda as one of the stream. And to tell our listeners that the global Ayurveda market is almost like 4.58 US billion dollars. It was already known in 2019, and it is growing by 18% every year uh, around the world. There are markets beyond India in the Asia Pacific, in northern countries in USA, Nepal, UAE, Netherlands, Italy, Russia, France, and I'm so happy to see some of these products like Patanjali products, Himalaya products, Dabur products. I have found them everywhere in the world, and people buy them. They have a trust on them, and they use it with pride. And not to forget to mention our own Vico Vajradanti. And I'm telling you, this is a satisfaction while we use these products, because we know they don't contain the harmful chemicals. uh, but I must suggest our listeners that when you are using an Ayurvedic product, or a drug, or a medicine, try to read those names. For example, ashwagandha. Go and read about ashwagandha. It has been mentioned in the very old texts. Uh, Yashti Madhu, you mentioned turmeric, pepper, and our kitchen is full of our these stuff. And figure that out, the essence that our forefathers, our Ayurvedic doctors, the Charak Samhita had already mentioned thousands of years back. It is important when we read that. They are easy to read, they are easy to connect with a story. There are already so many stories around us about this medicine has worked wonders. Let's go to so and so Ayurvedic doctor, or a homegrown, what do we say, Dadi Ma ke nuske.
Right.
It is important to understand, and we will have fun in reading those. And then when we use them, we'll feel happy. And when we are happy, 50% of the problem is gone, isn't it?
Yes, and rightly mentioned, because education is knowledge, and when we have knowledge about herbs, about how to live a useful and peaceful and a productive life, I think Ayurveda plays a huge role in that. Because Ayurveda study programs, especially if you are want to become a professional, professional in this field, then this Ayurveda study integrates the practical, philosophical, spiritual insight of Ayurveda into professional training program that supports you in becoming Ayurveda professional and capable of serving others. So that is main factor when we study or uses words like Ayurveda and think about this medical practice, because it is not new to us. We know, but we don't acknowledge. That is the problem.
Correct, Kanchan. And we don't acknowledge. Somehow we have also not discussed it. with our family, friends, especially people outside our country. And it is, I have seen in Singapore, I have seen in Japan, and this traditional medicine from China, Singapore, Asia Pacific is so popular, and they come with these amazing stories. You would just think, wow, I can become a superman by having a small spoon of it. But the same way, the Indian traditional medicine has not been promoted that way. We have always given it a very respected place. Probably it is important to give it a little bit of a marketing gimmick, a little bit of a marketing campaign around these products, these solutions. For example, I can quote about Kayam Churn. It's an Ayurvedic preparation, and that's one of it. But it is also important that Ayurveda is a serious study, Kanchan, and it talks about a Dincharya principle. So Dincharya is a Sanskrit word. Din is the day, Charya is the activity or active. So Dincharya principle of Ayurveda, we need to follow that to get going, and keep away from the medication as much as possible,
Yeah,
right?
I think it it should be starting in school actually. Then when we are talking about Dincharya, this education, this is a very profound education and should be started maybe from first class onwards. This is how Ayurveda, word Ayurveda has a meaning, and it should be taught to children from very early age. Now, this year, Prime Minister has inaugurated on 5th Ayurveda Day. This institute being inaugurated on that day, and the main focus of this inauguration and this institute is to curb the COVID-19 pandemic and to work towards uh, reducing the effect of COVID. So that is also very useful and beneficial news for all of us.
Exactly, and I think people have realized, we as Indians, we have realized that we actually did not see deep into our own kitchen cabinets, and we became so much aware during this pandemic about Ayurveda and Ayurvedic concoctions that we can prepare in our home and consume it in our home in our time without spending a single amount of money. And that, I think, has done good. I see people suggesting, kindly go and take this and this medicine, and I go to a Ayurvedic medicine, I just ask for that medicine and I buy it. I just read the instruction and I have it, because I know there is no side effect. As in the allopathic medicine, it is written, take as per the physician's advice. It is also written on Ayurveda. I'm sure it is written as well, but it has got a lower chances of that kind of overdoses that we have generally associated or have known from the allopathic medicine. And it happens as simple as the immunity boosting powers of kalonji seeds. It comes from there. It is as simple as that. And therefore, probably, since everybody can become some kind of an expert on Ayurvedic medicines or the way that should be taken, or the kadha, the universal kadha in our homes. But you need to put a very nice marketing name, for example, green tea, and suddenly it looks, wow, what is this? Never heard about it. So little bit of a marketing campaign around the goodness helps, and we live in the world of global marketing.
Yes, and while talking to you, I come to know that you have a very good knowledge of Ayurveda medicines, and I hope our viewers also take advantage of these medicines and get inspired by our discussion today. It was wonderful talking to you, Sitesh, today.
Thank you, Kanchan. Go well, and let's go and have our another sip of kadha.
Okay, bye bye. See you.
Bye bye.